Hi, everybody. Welcome to WCAX. Oh, here we go. Mic wasn't on. Sophia joins us today to talk about some warm winters and its impact on wildlife, especially in Vermont. So kind of just diving right into it. You know, I think a lot of times we think of warm winters, we think of have to wait longer to ski and snowboard and all that. But it also has a pretty good, big impact on wildlife in and around people's homes. And I think in your package you specifically mentioned bears.
Yeah.
We did a few stories last year on some bears, kind of in people's business. So kind of dive into that for me. How is it impacting kind of their pattern of inactivity or activity? It's a better question.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, bears wait for those really cold temperatures so that they can go into a state of torpor, which is like a lesser version of hibernation. There's this misconception that all bears are just going into this full-blown hibernation, which is where they're kind of sleeping throughout the whole winter.
Yeah.
But torpor is kind of that state of where they're drowsy, but they do wake up and they'll, come out here and there. But when the temperatures don't hit that low point, they struggle to get into that period, which is why we might see more bears coming out during the winter or earlier in the season than we might expect, which is what happened last year. And I actually found a study out of Colorado that found for every 1 degree Celsius increase to the minimum temperature, bears hibernate or, go into torpor 6 days fewer. So you think about, as we see winters, getting warmer and warmer, just how many extra days of activity that adds to, bears,
that's
let
a
alone
lot,
all these other species that are also active in the winter now.
Yeah, no, that's wild. And as far as, you're heading down to, we're getting closer to December now.
Right.
What can some people do to maybe prevent some unwanted house guests from sticking around, getting in their house, maybe even beyond bears here?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, for bears, obviously, keeping your bird feeder in for longer so that they're not tempted to go out there and start feasting. Securing your trash and also, watching your pets, any farm animals you have in your backyard, to make sure that they're not going to, come into contact with a bear or some other wild animal that can do a little bit more damage. Now, if we're talking about a house guest, one thing I mentioned in my story were bats.
Do you have bat boxes? I know where this is going.
I did grow up.
But did you have bat boxes growing up? Yeah.
And I think I might need to get one for outside my apartment now.
Yeah.
Don't tell my landlord. But yeah, that's a great solution because bats, if the caves that they usually hang out in get too warm, they're going to leave and go searching for a cooler spot. And sometimes they think that is your attic. Yeah. So to prevent them from getting in there, having a bat box is a great alternative.
Yeah.
At least a place where they can stop by, like a hotel on their way to a cooler cave.
A bat hotel.
Yes.
I think I had a long conversation with our news director about bat boxes and the difference between those and I think it was like a rectangular birdhouse. And I was like, that's a bat box. And he was like,
We'll
no.
have to have him on next time. Maybe we can make this a series.
It's a very long, Anyway. But yeah, I think, I don't know. It's definitely something to keep an eye on, especially as people's trash cans maybe are left out and, maybe there's a hole in the roof.
Well, it can all catch you off guard because you don't think that they're going to be active in the winter. Yeah. But things are changing.
No.
So, good to be aware of.
Absolutely. This was one more thing to keep in mind, especially as we get closer to being colder. So, anyway. Thanks. Thank you, Sophia. That in mind, we'll hop over to this. And one quick thing, too. You went to Vin's.
Yeah,
which
I sure did.
Was a lot of fun. I didn't go there for fun, but it's a blast. They got some crazy birds there.
You'll see some of those birds in this package here.
Yeah.
Some owls I captured at their last owl festival. We can
I'll pop it up now. Awesome. Thanks.
At the Vermont Institute of Natural Science, Maya Wiles tends to rehabilitated birds while watching their relatives soar across the sky. But their behavior has changed in recent years as Vermont winters heat up.
It's kind of just chaos. A lot of the research highlights that there's a lot of different effects, and we don't really know what the total outcome might be.
According to the Vermont Department of Health, the state's winters increased by 4 degrees in the last 50 years. They're less predictable, with record highs and increased rainfall as seen last year. A federal weather report predicts another mild winter on the books. Wiles says the warmth can mess with migration patterns and lead more birds to overwinter. That sends ripples through the food chain.
There's a lot more competition for the birds or the raptors that are here all winter long and normally don't have to compete for those prey in the winter. So it definitely would throw things off balance.
Warm winters also disrupt torpor, or a period of inactivity when animals conserve energy. That means more animal activity. State experts say some animals, like bats, might leave their heating hideaways for more temperate spaces.
So we'll also get a lot of phone calls of bats showing up in buildings when we've had a drastic drop in temperature because those temperature swings are so huge.
And bears are out too. We saw it last year with more black bears emerging from their dens early and appearing in our yards.
You might get a surprise visit to your bird feeder in January or February, a little bit earlier than you might expect otherwise.
Yeah, that was just a quick story there from Sophia talking about some changes to wildlife as winters here just get a little bit warmer. And you know what you should be looking out for as far as, you know, bears and bats and other things that might want to stick around and get in your house and stuff like that. With that in mind, we'll pop over to weather here just for a quick look at our satellite and radar. And Peter, we were just talking about warm winters, right?
Warm winters.
And so that in mind, is this kind of weather that bears and bats and everything else is sticking around, or what?
I mean, already for the month of November, we've
Yeah.
just been so mild out there. As a matter of fact, I remember November 1st,
Yeah.
we had that 70-degree day. For the month so far, we're about 2 degrees above where we should be. So
Okay.
it's been a pretty warm month, and it does look like we'll continue to see some mild weather here for at least today and tomorrow.
And then,
And then rain showers, some mountain snow showers, so it's starting to look and feel maybe a bit more winter-like for some of us, but that's still trying to nail down that forecast here
yeah.
as we head through the next several days. For now, again, here's the view on satellite radar. Most of us talking about a rather cloudy start to your Tuesday morning out there. Here's how the rest of the day shapes up. We'll gradually see clearing from south to north here as we head through the course of the day today. The big question is how much of us get in on that clearing. I think the Northeast Kingdom, probably northern New Hampshire, hang on to a good amount of clouds here as we head through the course of the afternoon and evening hours today. More of us get the clouds back tonight. Well, that's how we'll start off your day on Wednesday. Again, a line of clearing gradually advancing from south to north here as we head through the course of the day tomorrow. Again, it's probably the Northeast Kingdom as well as northern New Hampshire that probably struggles to get rid of the cloud cover. Into the day on Thursday, this is when we start to keep an eye on this system here as we head towards the end of this week. Looks like it starts off as some rain showers gradually moving in here as we head through the course of the day on Thursday. Maybe transitioning over to some mountain mix and mountain snow showers. You can see the Adirondack Park, as well as right along the spine of the Green Mountains. Starting to see a little bit of mixed precipitation here as we head towards Thursday evening. That continues Thursday night and into the day on Friday. And we're going to continue to see some wraparound moisture here Saturday and even into the day on Sunday. So this kind of a long duration system. The good news is it comes with some really much beneficial rainfall, especially for those drought communities, especially across central and southern portions of the area. All said and done, even through the course of the day Thursday, a lot of us could be talking about a half an inch upwards to an inch and a half of new rain. So that's beneficial rainfall, especially where we do have those drought conditions in place. We've been talking about that fire risk for a while here. That will be good news in regards to that. So to sum everything up, again, that beneficial rainfall out there, generally going to be talking about a widespread 3/4 of an inch to an inch and a half by the time we're all said and done here as we head towards this weekend. Then, yeah, that transition over to mountain snow. It does look like we could be talking about several inches of accumulating snow here on the mountains. The big question right now, and the models are still not in great agreement when it comes to this, is how much that snow is able to mix its way down and maybe make it into the valleys. Right now, I'm not sure that we're going to see a lot of that be able to mix its way down into the valley locations, but again, something that we're going to be keeping an eye on here as we head through the next several days. Temperatures out there right now, we're hanging out in the 30s and 40s out there. Most of us will talk temperatures climbing back into the mid and upper 40s and lower 50s here as we head towards this afternoon. Notice off to the south, Bennington, Brattleboro, those communities right along the Massachusetts state line, they're probably just a bit warmer in the mid-50s thanks to that more sunshine off to the south. Tonight, overnight lows, they'll fall back into the 30s, mostly cloudy skies overhead. Into your day tomorrow, again, gradually starting to see more and more sunshine emerge here as we head towards tomorrow afternoon, with temperatures for today climbing back into the 50s here for your day on Wednesday. Now look at that 7-day forecast. So again, today, tomorrow, all looking dry, all looking quiet. Probably a bit more sunshine here for the day tomorrow. Then we head into Thursday. That's when we see that really much needed rain start to make its arrival. Transitions over to some mountain snow showers for the day Friday, Saturday, even continuing into part of the day on Sunday. Again, the big question that we're still trying to nail down right now, John, is how much of that snow is able to mix its way down into the lower elevations.
Yeah.
Again, the model's not great in agreement on that at this point, but
Yeah.
I think for the most part, we'll talk about most of the accumulating snow generally above 1,500 feet of elevation.
Yeah, Peter, and I've been very vocal about my stance on wintry mix.
I know.
I am not a fan. I think it's a mess, especially a mess in the roadways
Yeah.
and everything. So
Yeah.
I would rather rain or snow,
Yep.
and I hate both together.
But
So-
we live in northern New England, so
I
that's
know.
not an option.
Yeah, no, it's not an option, and honestly, it's mostly the case pretty much
Yeah.
all the time.
Oh,
So-
especially here in the Champlain Valley.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's definitely some welcome news for people trying to get in the
Yep.
mountain and everything else like that. And
Good news when it comes
before
to
you know
those
it.
mountains. What I will say is it's
Yeah.
definitely going to be that heavy, wet snow.
Yeah.
So not the nice powder everybody's rooting
No.
for, but
You know, I get a little base layer down. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly.
It's like painting. That in mind, I think it does it for us here. I think I will say the one thing of note today is for noon,
back in
you
the
and I are
studio.
going to be we're going to be back in the studio.
Back
It's
in
been
the
a minute.
studio. Yes.
And this morning went well. It's very well lit,
Yeah.
and some new shots going on. So
Looks good.
come check it out. But yeah, I think it does it for us here. Of course, you can see us on the noon show and on WCAX.com and all of our stories here, evening show too.
Yep.
Everything was good. So thank you, Peter.
Perfect.